Daily stock market update. It's Friday, the 9th of January, and just before US market open, January is doing its job. Essentially, what that means is the markets are keeping stable. They're not breaking downwards. And if anything, they're heading and inching slowly upwards without any degree of euphoria. Euphoria would make me worried because the faster things go up, the faster they can fall. A steady climb is more mature for the markets and far better for all of us. They're no longer being carried by tailwinds. They're really looking for evidence. I'm looking at US payrolls. If we start with the US markets for a second, US payrolls rose 50,000 in December. Now, that's a bit less than expected, but that means the unemployment rate has fallen to 4.4%. If unemployment falls, it might just delay any interest rate cuts. That in itself is not negative. Sometimes a delay in interest rate cuts, which is what the market is more concerned about than employment, could lead to stocks falling off because higher interest rates mean people have less money in their pockets, whether they're companies, governments, or individuals. So in this case, the market is not seeing it as a negative that unemployment's increased. You might think, why would the market see rising unemployment as a negative? It can do if the more important thing is interest rates, and it is. So it seems to find balance is the bottom line, and that balance is good for stocks. Goldilocks, not too hot, not too cold, right? From here, price action belongs to profits, balance sheets, and credibility. The rest get quietly left behind or noisily left behind. If you miss profits, you're going to get punished. Expect good companies to drop 20% if they miss profitability, but if they continue to be profitable, nevertheless, for the long term, then those are buy the dip opportunities. The caveat being you need good quality companies to begin with. The problem's going to be private investors are going to get their fingers burnt by going for low quality companies, putting too much money into them, seeing markets drop, then panic or get bored when the dopamine hits don't happen. So they're going to guaranteed mess it up. Okay. This is the end of the first full trading week of the year. It's finishing with less noise, more honesty, and an early sense of basically who's bluffing, who's actually wearing clothes when the tide goes out, or which companies have got profits. So let's have a look. FTSE 100 first, then the US markets, then some of the macro developments, and then we'll close off with interest rates again. FTSE 100 closing the week steady rather than spectacular. Defensive leadership holds. That means banks, energy, insurers, consumer staples. What do we mean by defensive? What we mean by defensive are those companies which are non-cyclical. In other words, regardless of economic cycle, you need to use them. Banks, you need to use. Energy, you need to use. Insurers, consumer staples, bread, milk is a consumer staple. Something which isn't a consumer staple, Ferraris. Okay, so there is more money going into this, but we're not going to chase sector rotation. It's just giving us an idea of what's going on. 99% of the time with investing, you don't actually need to do anything. That's how my pension grows, because 99% of the time, Warren Buffett and I don't need to do anything. This is still global allocation money. It's not domestic exuberance. It's not Brits buying British companies. This is world funds now allocating a bit more to Britain to maybe reduce some of the exposure, some of the profits they've gained out of the US. That's not to say the US is negative. It's not to say you should shift to the UK. What it means is, if you want a simple strategy, 5% of your overall allocation into a FTSE 100 tracker or FTSE All Share tracker. Fine. For me, I'm okay. I've got enough opportunities in the US. I don't need to be looking at the UK as well any more than I need to be looking at Vietnam either. Investors are currently basically buying cheap and dependable, but not exciting companies. That's Britain. Cheap and dependable, not exciting. Okay, the UK is essentially a safe haven presently, given relative to the US what's going on. Now, US markets, S&P 500, NASDAQ, and the Dow, they've ended the week with momentum, but that momentum has been slowing, but it's still intact. Indices are holding up. Conviction is a little bit less thin. So we've got confidence in the market. We just don't have the conviction. What's the difference between conviction and confidence? Well, it's a bit like this. I've got confidence Leeds United will stay up in the Premiership. But if you said, would you be willing to bet £1 million on it? I'd say no. So I've got confidence, not conviction. And that's the same with the market at the moment. And it's a good analogy. There is still the breadth problem, the mega cap tech still is carrying the market. Okay, so there's a concentration of these imperial companies. We are in the age of the American empire, and their companies are exhibiting what their politics is doing. When I used to work in the US Congress for Congressman Engel, we all thought at that time it's the end of the American empire. It is back, and their imperial companies are carrying forward profitability and are representative of their indices. They can steamroller anybody out of the way. In fact, after this, I've got a call with Alphabet. Why? Well, we're on their accelerator growth program now. They're aggressive. Now, am I going to give my money to Alphabet, or am I going to give it to some British company? I'm afraid there isn't a British company I know I could give it to. So it goes to the Americans. Participation is still narrow. We know this. It's an unresolved risk. If everybody was rising in the markets, we'd feel happier, but it's not. It's a narrow group of companies, and we're invested in those companies, so I don't mind. It used to be said by Warren Buffett, when you buy some shares in a company, you're buying a business. Think of it like that. I disagree. You're buying part of an empire. That's where we are now with these companies, whether it's Meta, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Lam Research. You're buying part of an empire. So the rally survived the week. That's good. It didn't strengthen, but it survived the week. Macro developments, Venezuela, Greenland, irrelevant. Soft landing is now assumed by the market. In other words, we're not going to have a recession. We're not going to have a crash. We know that from employment figures in the US. America being the world's largest economy by a large margin means this matters for the rest of the world. Growth is somewhat slowing, going sideways. That's okay, because it means that we don't need to hike interest rates. They're already doing their job, and interest rates are more of a concern than growth at this stage. Okay, the various factors of economic growth which matter the most vary. That's why this is hard and not simple. If it was always growth is more important than inflation, than in interest rates, then it'd be easy. Everybody would be a millionaire. But it's trying to work out which of those musical chairs are the most important. And at the moment, it is very much interest rates still and AI profitability. So what has changed this week? Well, markets have stopped blindly trusting the narrative and are now starting to test it. In other words, are the companies going to be delivering in terms of returns? And if I look at some of the big moves to the upside and the downside, you can see how, if you're Seagate, you shot up and then you're down 7%. Datadog, you're down 7%, but Texas Pacific Land is up 7% in just a day. APA Corporation, up 8% in just a day. Smurfit Westrock, up 6% in just a day. You're going to continue getting those wild swings. The trick will be not to panic. Now, expectations are fairly benign. Luckily, if expectations are too high, we've got a problem because it's harder to jump over them, and therefore the market to go higher. Markets go higher when expectations are exceeded. They don't go higher just because growth is growing or you're making a lot of money. It's a relative thing. Have you exceeded an expectation? And that's economic theory since the 1960s, when we realized expectations are what matter, because the markets look 1 or 2 or 3 steps ahead. Commodities, oil, Brent, fine, range bound, low 60s, no problem. OPEC is keeping to its discipline and not oversupplying the market. The Venezuela equation is too complicated to work out whether it's going to impact oil negatively. You don't want it to be too cheap. You don't want it to be too expensive. It's at the right amount, enough for people to make profits, not so much that it's a cost burden on companies and consumers. Gold is still near all-time highs. Central bank buying is the reason gold is not predicting a disaster where it is. It's just hedging at the moment. That's why people are buying it, not because they think there's going to be an economic disaster, but they're just hedging. Bitcoin consolidating sideways, nothing much to talk about there either. Okay, so I've kept you long enough. I want you to do me a favor, as ever. If you like these, and I do them for free, I will continue doing them for free if you keep viewing them. And the best way to get a broader viewership is if you comment, if you like, if you save, if you're on TikTok, and if you're on YouTube, then if you subscribe to my channel as a result of this, or as I say, if you like or if you comment, makes a big difference. I'd also like you to go to campaignforamillion.com. We're doing free educational pension reviews. Somebody said, oh, that'll be a sales call. We've got nothing to sell you. Okay, 0.01% of my viewers are interested in anything that we might sell. right? The vast majority of people, 99.9%, take everything for free. And that's fine by us, including my books, which can be downloaded from the links in the bio and from campaignforamillion.com. It's all free. Okay. So do have a look at that, including the free pension education review, which my team and I are happy to do as well. Thank you all very much. Don't forget, like, save so more people view it. Everybody's happy, win-win. Thank you.